everybody. It's Rick. 2019. It's Good Friday right? Because what they're doing is, what I've been doing lately, I haven't done a video in a while. I've been updating my paperwork. All right. I've been doing a lot of research. Um, I believe, that that we have to rebut the presumptions and we have to assert our sovereignty. All right. Now, in the past, I was afraid of the sovereignty thing because some of you are having a hard time. I don't want you to go into court, and if you're not prepared and use it the wrong way, I mean, they can call you a sovereign citizen. They can even threaten to arrest you. All right, so you got to be careful. All right, you got to understand you're a sovereign state citizen. All right, there are two classes of citizens in our country. There are state citizens and there are citizens of the United States. Now, citizens of the United States are citizens of the corporate United States. Okay, in 1871, they created another version of the Constitution with the 14th Amendment, but it was the Constitution for the United States, not the Constitution for the United States of America. It's really for the corporate United States. And the United States is a corporation under 28 U.S.C. Section 302, subsection 15. It'll be in the slides, okay? And as a sovereign, you are a king. They're not allowed to subject you to legal process. And I'll show you how this is true. Okay, see here. Okay. Under 42 U.S.C. 659, the term legal process means any writ, order, summons, or other similar process in the nature of garnishment, which is issued by a court or an administrative agency, child support, of competent jurisdiction in any state, territory, or possession of the United States. Now, what the hell is it? Private person. Now, I'm showing you the sovereignty. Why sovereign? When you're sovereign, you're immune from legal process. Private person means a person who does not have sovereign or other special immunity or privilege. Right? We have immunity and privilege under Article 4, Section 2 of the United States Constitution of America. Not the immunity and privileges of the 14th Amendment. Okay, that's when you're a citizen of the United States. We're talking about state citizen. Okay, and we're going to start relying on, I've done a video on this in the past, but we're going to move away from the United States Constitution. We're going to move towards state constitution. Okay, because those rights, they cannot challenge these rights in court, especially a state court. We're all in state court, okay, or state tribunal, administrative tribunal, child support courts. Okay, so it's, again, do not have sovereign or other special immunity or privilege which causes the person not to be subject to legal process. So now here it is. They're admitting it right here. If you're sovereign or other special immunity, which we have as a people, okay, we're gonna touch on this when we're rebutting the terms. See, they refer to you as a person, right? You see person here all the time. You're not a person. A person is a corporate entity. Well, you're not a corporate entity. You're a living, breathing human being. You're a man. You're a woman. You're a people. Okay? And that's what they do. They change our status. Now, persons, they don't have any rights. I just showed you right here. A private person is subjected to legal process. Well, that's what child support proceedings are. Okay? So, fax the state in your paperwork and when you are inside court. All right? So, It is a fact, right? You would use your name. Is a man, is a sovereign state citizen, and thereby, as a sovereign state citizen, any court or administrative tribunal is prohibited to presume he or she is a private person or person subjected to legal process, quasi-judicial proceedings. Here's another thing. It is a violation of due process for this court or tribunal. Tribunal is a child support court. So I use both. Okay, so there's no confusion. All right. To rely upon presumptions. When a court relies upon a presumption, okay, it's a violation of due process. See, there's not supposed to be any doubt in court. Every fact is supposed to be proven by evidence. All right. So somebody's suing you for an injury, they have to bring evidence and testimony to prove that the injury is a fact. It's not not unproven. Okay, that's the reason why you have trial by juries, right? All of testimony and evidence is supposed to be presented to a jury, and then the jury looks at the evidence, listens to testimony, and then they make a decision. That's the way it's supposed to work. Okay. Okay, again, facts to state when you are inside court to assert sovereignty and to rebut presumption. Okay, sovereign as an adjective. Now, this is what here is sovereign state citizen. What I do in my paperwork is I put footnotes. Everything that is underlined here, I add a footnote and I prove it. I put a citation, a court decision, an adjudicated fact. So these are all I prove. These are no longer presumptions. It's not a presumption that I'm a sovereign state citizen. Also, it's a good idea is to, there's a way I did it myself. I got a real easy, in your state, you can get copies of your birth certificate. All right, and I'm forget how much they are. It's like $10, $15 a copy. Order a few just to have. And then when you go to court, you bring your birth certificate with you. And you present your birth certificate and say, that's proof that you're a living, even though you're there, but you could submit your birth certificate with your paperwork as evidence that you're no longer a person, a legal fiction. Your birth certificate is proof that you're a living human being, man or woman. Okay? So all of these here, the next slide is the footnotes, all right? So a sovereign as an adjective is defined in 5 ways by Webster's dictionary. 1, chief or highest, supreme, paramount, right? Supreme or highest in power, superior in position to all others. Well, who are all others? Well, obviously you're going to be higher than a surrogate judge or a judge. Independent of and unlimited by any other, possessing or entitled to original, that's all that other nonsense. Okay? Authority or, I'm sorry, possessing or entitled to original and independent authority or jurisdiction. Number 4, excellent, efficacious, effectual, controlling. Number 5, of the highest degree. All right. One may be a citizen of a state and yet not a citizen of the United States. Okay. These are the case laws. So right there is the fact. You could be a state citizen and still not be a citizen of the United States. That's how you're going to get around. Well, are you telling me that you're a sovereign citizen? No, I'm a state citizen. Okay, it's an adjudicated fact. It's been adjudicated. There's a lot of cases that says you're allowed to. You could be a citizen of the state and not be a citizen of the United States. Okay, the people, and I know who they are. I can't say, that started this sovereign immunity nonsense is because of what I just showed you earlier with the right here, 42 U.S.C. 659, private person means, because they know that sovereigns are not subjected to this color of law nonsense. these 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 administrative courts, these child support proceedings. Okay, they notice. So, they make it sound like we're this. Now, again, I'm not a sovereign citizen. All right, neither are you. But they want to group us in, right? It's a presumption. So it's presumed that every sovereign citizen is a domestic terrorist, and there are allegedly some cases out there where sovereign citizens went to court and caused all kinds of ruckus or blah blah blah, threatened a judge. You know, I suspect whoever those sovereign citizens were probably government agents anyway. Okay, to give that name. So, all right, so let's move on. All right, these are presumptions we're going to rebut. Okay. So you're not going to be a person. Under 42 U.S.C. 1301-83, person means an individual, a trust, or a state, a partnership, or corporation. Right? We're using 42 U.S.C. because that's where the Social Security Act, the Child Support Enforcement is they use that in the courts. Okay? 42 U.S.C. 666. All right. I also got some really good news with that. I discovered. All right, for you guys to use. All right, and I'll show it in a couple of minutes. Right here, we're talking about again 42 U.S.C. 659 legal process. We talked about that earlier. Quasi-judicial definition is a proceeding conducted by an administrative or executive official. All right, that is our fake judge. That is a surrogate judge because they're working under the executive branch. They're not a judicial official. So if they're not a judicial official, how are their support orders have any bite? How are they legal? They're all void. Quorum non judice. I have it. That's why I'm telling you, my paperwork. If any paperwork's going to help you get out child support, it's my paperwork. I'm telling you. And I just showed you a guy earlier, and he got it out of in the same court that I got out of. All right, and that's a difficult court. All right, because they know it's my paperwork. All right, we went over this. All right, child support enforcement means any administrative or judicial action by a court or administrative entity of a state necessary to establish paternity or establish a child support order. Okay, but the only people who are that fall under this jurisdiction are federal employees. So you know who a federal employee is? A person is considered a United States citizen is considered a federal employee. Well, we're not. That's why we're rebutting this presumption. I am a state citizen. So if you're a state citizen, you are automatically not a federal employee. And if you're not a federal employee, they cannot prosecute you under child support enforcement. Under 42 U.S.C. 651 of the Social Security Act. Right, it's 651 through 669 subsection B. All of those codes. Okay, 666 is where they allege to get the authority for income withholding orders. All right, but remember, state means any of the several states, the District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Right, that's the state. We don't live in this. That's a federal territory. We live in a state, the land state. So that means they have no authority to prosecute you under their child support laws. Okay, here's another thing. It is a fact that the Declaration of Independence specifies that all just powers of government derive from the consent of the governed. So in other words, you cannot be governed until you give consent. Now this makes sense because under the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act, which is what they use to get you into court, okay, and we're going to challenge personal jurisdiction, it says that You have to be a non-resident. Well, we're not non-residents. We're domiciled in the state court, so you're not a non-resident. You're not a United States citizen. Okay. Um, Also, it says under section Article 2, Section 201 of the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act that you have to submit to the jurisdiction of the court by consenting or making a general appearance. Well, in my paperwork, we don't do any of that. We get that. That's another presumption we get out of the way right away in my paperwork. So we're letting the court know that the court lacks personal jurisdiction because, one, I'm not consenting. Two, I'm contesting. That's another thing. You have to contest. Now, if you don't contest, they're presuming that you're consenting. You understand? See how slick they are? And excuse me, I have I put this in the paperwork to challenge child support, where you send directly to the child support agency. Now, and we're saying you have no personal jurisdiction. I have one of my guys. He sent it to the whole time they've been collecting child support for Louisiana. He lives in Texas. Now Texas, they moved it from Louisiana to Texas. See how slick they are? Because they know that Louisiana didn't have personal jurisdiction over him because he lives in Texas. Why they do that? Because of my paperwork. But it's also proof that they didn't have that all the money they took from him while not living in Louisiana, they got to give back to him. I mean, he's gonna have to fight for it, but he's got the grounds. They admitted it by them transferring the case from Louisiana to Texas. They admitted they didn't have personal jurisdiction. And why we do that? Because we sent in the cease and desist. All right. All of the child support courts are nisi prius courts. They're legislative courts, and they rely on prima facie evidence. Okay, prima facie evidence is what does it say? It's requires what happens? It requires your objections, or the orders will stand. And I touched on this before. You have 30 days to object, and by filing a written objection, and receive a judicial review. These courts and its employees routinely change our status. So what they do is they change you from a man or a woman, a people, and they change you to a person, a private person, natural person, a debtor, an obligor. You understand? So you're going to say, I am none of those things. Okay? It's your job to rebut these presumptions and assert your sovereignty. Okay? Now, when you do that in writing and they don't respond, they are defaulting to fulfill an obligation. They brought you there, and you are filing paperwork rebutting their presumptions, and if they do not respond, that means that your facts stand, and they're now recorded. And then you can go to a higher court, file an injunction, bring a copy of that order, that motion that you filed, and you show that they did not respond. That means that your facts stand, and then it will be recorded in that higher court. Okay? The court will default for failure to respond to a verified act. You're going to file a dismissal and cite the unrebutted facts as reason. You could file a writ of mandamus in an appellate level court to compel. In California, it's a writ of mandate. The child support court to rebut, or it must dismiss or discharge matter. And I said this before, you're going to file an injunction against the child support agency in an appellate level court. Those of you that have my paperwork, you guys have injunction paperwork and you have cease and desist. Excuse me. All right, these are the case laws for state citizens, sovereign citizens. All right, we're going to move on. You guys can look it up. Okay, another good case, look it up. In as much as the government's an artificial person. So that's why I love when you try and sue the government, they claim they're sovereign. They're not. It's funny how they're sovereign, but we're not. Okay, this is another case law you guys can look at. All right, the two classes of citizens, there's the case laws. Okay, and listen, I'm providing you guys can add this to your paperwork. Here, prima facie means at first sight on the first appearance, on the face of, so far as can be judged from the first disclosure, presumably. So they're presuming that it's evidence. A fact presumed to be true unless disproved by some evidence. So that's why prima facie evidence is you're a person, you're a private. So we're going to say, no, here's my birth certificate. I am in court. Here I am. I am before you. I am a man. I am a woman. Okay? Prima facie and color of law both go hand in hand. Okay? Color of law is really fake laws. They're unconstitutional laws, which you have to challenge. Okay? Yeah, if you read these prima facie color of law statutes, you will find them using words like person all the time. Okay, a rebuttable presumption. I'll let you guys look, you guys can look at this. Presumption is always taken on the color of law. All right. Color of law as the appearance, semblance of law, but it's not a law. Okay, common presumptive terms used by the court. Private person, person. Put it in a description for you guys. Don't forget to get copies of your birth certificates. Don't forget that you're sovereign state citizens and you're not United States citizens. I am not a United States citizen. I am a state citizen who is sovereign. All right? All right, people. If you need my paperwork, send me a gift. My email is rick, RICK0327 @me.com. Happy Easter.